Another side quest podcast, a detour worth taking. And today we're going somewhere unexpected. I'm not even gonna lie, genuinely unexpected. I'm talking high fashion. I'm talking handcrafted silk. I'm talking Totoro on a runway in Paris.
Totoro on a runway in Paris.
And somehow, it didn't feel weird. It felt right, which I was not prepared for emotionally.
Because here's the image I need you to hold in your head. Models walking out in Loewe's spring collection, and stitched into the fabric, painted onto the leather, woven into the texture, is Studio Ghibli. Like actual Ghibli art. Soot sprites, calcifer, Howl's castle drifting across a jacket like it's no big deal.
No big deal. It's the biggest deal. I saw the photos and I genuinely had to sit down.
Stop, you sat down.
On my floor. For a minute.
Valid, completely valid. So today we're breaking down how this collaboration happened, what makes Studio Ghibli such an irresistible creative force even for the world of luxury fashion, and why this crossover hit different than anything we've seen in a long time.
Let's get into it.
Okay, so before we talk about the collab, we have to talk about Ghibli. Because if you don't understand what Ghibli is, you can't understand why this hit the way it did.
And I mean that beyond just, oh, it's anime. Ghibli is something else entirely. They're not a studio, they're a feeling.
That's their whole thing, Studio Ghibli. And I'd call them the architects of emotional landscape. They don't just animate worlds, they make you live in them.
Which sounds dramatic until you remember that Spirited Away made you genuinely scared of a bathhouse. As an adult.
As multiple adults, repeatedly, across decades. So, founded in 1985, Hayao Miyazaki and Isao Takahata, two legends coming off Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind, which was technically a Topcraft production, but proved that there was a massive audience hungry for this kind of storytelling.
And the pivot, the thing that changed everything, was Grave of the Fireflies and My Neighbor Totoro releasing in the same year, 1988. Same year. One absolutely destroys you emotionally, and one gives you the softest, most healing creature in animation history.
Hold on. On the same double bill, in theaters, together.
Whoever greenlit that double feature owes everyone an apology, and also a thank you.
That 1-2 punch put Ghibli on the map in a way that no single film could have. Because it proved the studio had range, they weren't locked into one tone, one genre, one emotional register.
And that range is baked into their visual DNA too. Ghibli's look is immediately identifiable. The way backgrounds feel like watercolor paintings that somehow move. The line weight, clean but warm, never cold or mechanical.
The sky! Their skies are insane. Every Ghibli sky looks like someone spent 3 weeks hand-painting every individual cloud.
They kind of did, though.
They kind of did. Ghibli famously resisted the full shift to digital longer than almost any major studio. Miyazaki's philosophy was rooted in the hand, in the imperfection and warmth of traditional animation. And when they did integrate digital tools, they were surgical about it. They used it to enhance what the hand was already doing, not replace it.
Which is exactly why Ghibli art translates so well onto fabric, because it was made to feel tactile. It was already halfway to a textile before Loewe ever got involved.
That is such a good point, and I wish I'd said it first.
I'll take it.
I'm sorry, what? So, Jonathan Anderson, creative director at Loewe, has been open about his obsession with craft and with art objects. His whole design philosophy is that a garment should feel like it was made by a human for a human. And Ghibli is the animated equivalent of that.
It's why it works so well together. Loewe isn't putting Ghibli on a t-shirt and calling it merch. They're treating these characters and scenes like fine art. Calcifer, hand-stitched onto a leather bag. Soot sprites embossed into a wallet. Howl's moving castle printed on a coat that honestly costs more than my rent.
Costs more than your rent?
Significantly more than my rent. I looked it up for research purposes, and then I had to close the tab.
Necessary. But here's what's fascinating. This isn't just a licensing deal. Loewe worked directly with Studio Ghibli. The art wasn't adapted or modernized. It was reproduced with this almost reverent accuracy.
And you can feel that in the final pieces. There's no irony in it. Nobody's being clever or subversive. It's just, here is something beautiful, meeting something else beautiful, and we are going to treat both with complete sincerity.
Which, in 2024, 2025, that kind of sincerity is actually radical.
It really is. We've been so trained to expect a wink, like someone's always got to be in on the joke, and this collection just wasn't joking.
Now, you can't talk about Ghibli without talking about the people who built it. Miyazaki is the obvious name. Director of Spirited Away, Howl's Moving Castle, Princess Mononoke, the man has won an Academy Award, a Palme d'Or, an honorary Oscar.
And he keeps retiring and then just coming back with another film.
Bro, The Boy and the Heron, his 2023 film. Golden Globe winner, Academy Award winner, and reportedly his most personal work ever made.
Which means even the Loewe collab lands in this moment where Ghibli is more relevant than ever, not coasting on nostalgia, actively producing.
And the other name you have to mention is Joe Hisaishi. Technically a composer, not an animator, but his music is the Ghibli visual language made audible. You cannot separate the images from his scores. They are one thing.
The second the Spirited Away theme comes on, I'm a completely different person. That's just true. I've accepted it.
So what does this collab mean for the broader culture? Because I think it's bigger than fashion.
It's a statement about what we consider art. Ghibli has always deserved to sit alongside the Picassos and the Van Goghs in terms of cultural legacy. And Loewe, a 170-year-old Spanish luxury house, essentially saying that by putting it on their runway, that matters.
It's institutional validation for something that fans have always known. And it reaches people who might never have watched a Ghibli film. They see that coat, they ask where it's from, they find out about the movie, and suddenly there's a new Ghibli fan who came in through a leather bag.
Which is the most elegant pipeline to a fandom I've ever heard of.
Right? And looking forward, Ghibli's not slowing down. The Boy and the Heron is still making waves internationally. There are ongoing conversations about how the studio handles its future under Miyazaki's son Goro, who directed Tales from Earthsea and From Up on Poppy Hill.
Very different energy than his dad, but doing his own thing. And that's fine. That's good, actually.
And from a fashion angle, this Loewe collab has opened a door. If it can be this thoughtful, this beautiful, this culturally coherent, other luxury houses are watching.
They are absolutely watching. And I'm both excited and slightly terrified about what comes next.
Okay, before we get to the outro, I'm doing my recommendation for this episode, and it should surprise absolutely nobody.
Go ahead.
Watch Howl's Moving Castle. If you've never seen it, this collab is practically a trailer for it. Calcifer, Howl, Sophie, the castle, all of it. It's a love story and an anti-war film and a meditation on aging and identity all at once. And it does all of that while being gorgeous every single frame. Look, it's not Miyazaki's most tightly plotted film, and I won't pretend it is, but the feeling it leaves you with is unmatched. I'm giving it 4.5 out of 5 stars. And honestly, the only reason it's not 5 is because the third act makes me want to rewind and try again. But in a way I kind of love. Just watch it.
This is embarrassing, but I love that review. That is the most honest 4.5 stars I've ever heard.
I contain multitudes.
That's it for this episode of Another Side Quest podcast. We went to Paris, we went to Ghibli, we went to my bank account and immediately left.
We did not linger there.
We did not linger. If you loved this one, subscribe, leave us a review, and tell us, which Ghibli film would you want to see on a Loewe runway?
Hold on. Drop it in the comments. We're reading them. A detour worth taking. See you next time.